Good morning, everyone. My name is Liz Fennick, and I'm here from the North Shaft Lions to do the second installment of the most amazing adventure that you've ever seen. Before, if you I hope you saw it, we had two little puppies who were sleeping in people's laps and with no movement at all. And then today, a few weeks later, we have the most amazing, active, wonderful puppies ready to see. Hercules, over here on the side. Good morning, Hercules. It's being such a good boy. And Hollis was full of the joys of spring. And you'll get a chance to look at them more later on. But I just wanted to say thank you again for joining us and being part of the excitement of what's happening with these lovely puppies and the raisers. One thing we were chatting out just before we started was that Hollis and Hercules are part of a litter of puppies. And how many were there?
There was 11 in that litter.
11.
Yeah.
And
four
so
were at 7 weeks. At 7 weeks, they determined 4 of them would not be put into training.
Right, because they're very, very strict on
What
all
they're
kinds of
looking
things
for.
about their health,
Yep, their temperament.
their temperament. All of these things had to be taken into consideration. So 4 of them fell at the first hurdle.
But there's still some left.
And this is the sadness. I have to just make sure everybody understands that there are how many left?
There's
4.
at least 4 left from this litter.
From this litter.
4 from this litter that are there waiting for puppy raisers. Now, the whole idea is that they will never progress to guide dogs
Right.
unless we have
Unless
some.
we have our razors.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. That's incredible, because that means there's at least 4 people out there who may need these dogs who will never get the chance.
Exactly. Yeah, we can only keep so many puppies in our kennel. It's only so big. So once the puppies get to about 12, 13 weeks, then we have to release them either to pet homes or to another service dog school. So without our razors, we don't have the finished product at the end to make a difference for somebody.
And we have 2 stars here who we're going to hear a lot more from later, because what I really wanted to talk more about is how the different things go for you as raisers, you know, the journey really of developing the dogs. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, it's always an adventure when you get a puppy, because you're starting, you know, you have to make sure that your house is safe for the puppy. And so just kind of staying on them and teaching them house manners is, you know, so important at the beginning, because that's what you want at the end. You want the puppy to have, you know, impeccable house manners. So working on that with Hercules, and Tammy's been working on that with Hollis, and then just exposing them to, you know, little exposures, bringing them to games or bringing them to the grocery store, you know, walking outside the grocery store and just letting them check it out and see what is out there, having them exposed to different things.
Because all these things will be part of their lives.
Right.
And they
You want them to be able to, you know, see a little kid, see a big kid, see balls going by them and not be chasing them. So that's what we're kind of working on right now.
That would be a big challenge.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's, you work them in slowly, and you slowly work on their skills. And you have a little while to work on them.
Oh.
It doesn't all happen in one day.
But it certainly has got your attention.
Yeah, he knows where the food is.
Yeah, there you go. There's all those treats. So tell me about your adventures with Hollis.
Well, Hollis is my first dog, so definitely a learning curve. I find so we have weekly classes, and I find when I leave class that there's as much for me to absorb as the puppy, so I have to kind of go home. And some things we had to revisit, so all of a sudden she didn't like her crate during the day again. So I had to, Alice, yes, good girl, good girl. So I had to go back to playing in the crate and putting treats in the crate and, you know, making sure she knew it wasn't going to be a long time in the crate. I guess she prefers her back to her brother. but I really am just, it's so amazing to see them progress. No. We don't eat off the floor ever. Like we can help it. Just those little things like, wow, she couldn't, yesterday she was resisting the crate, today she's walking right back in. So it's just that constant training.
Yeah.
And, when she first came, she wanted to pick up every leaf in the road. And right now she just walks right by the leaves. She's like, oh yeah, these are leaves. I don't like these. So yeah, it's a lot of joy and a lot of fun just to see her make progress.
It's amazing. No, it's just, and I still remember them sitting so quietly in your laps the last time we were together.
Yes.
That isn't happening anymore.
No, there's a great big world out there for them to learn about.
I think it's incredible. I'm just so pleased about this. So one thing that I know we're very conscious that it's National National Guide Dog.
National Guide Dog Day. Yep.
National Guide Dog Day. And one thing that I've always wanted to know, and I could figure it out, is how you can match these individual guys, because they are very much individual characters, with a person and their needs. How does that happen?
So we leave that up to the trainers down at our headquarters.
Right.
But they look at the dog's pace, which is how fast they walk compared to how fast the person walks. They look at what type of environment they live in. Not every dog is going to want to work in a busy city environment, and some dogs are more suitable for country living. Mm-hmm. Just like people, if we don't want to live in New York City, a dog might not want to live in New York City either. They take into account how busy the person is. Are they active every day? Is it a go type of dog? So they really do look at the whole person and make the best match.
That's amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
So they actually go out to the person's house before they get matched, and they look at the environment and they see how fast, like Kate was saying, how fast the dog walks as well as how fast the person walks, because that's one of the main things that they want to match. And they, that's how they match the dogs. And it's always so neat to see how that happens. And, and of course, once they get the dog, if it's not a good match, then they work on getting them another dog. So one of our dogs that just got matched, the first match, he actually walked too fast for the person, because the dog can't slow down his pace. The person has to walk at the dog's pace.
Oh, yes,
so you can't tell the dog, walk a little slower. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, no, you're
So they have to, because you actually, when the person is being guided, the dog is actually pulling them with the harness. So you have to keep up with the dog. So one thing that the person that just got our last dog said, he's very fast. He's even faster than my last dog. And so that was, it was good for him. He's in a big college environment and able to get around the campus. And so I thought that was really neat. So they went out and looked at that, and then they actually did all of his training in Buffalo with Gabriel and Chris, and they, worked at the university and at his home to get them, make sure the match was solid, and teach him how to get around the campus and get around the home and get around the town. So
that's amazing. All of those things I never really considered.
Yeah.
Pace. What an amazing, but of course the person can't see, so therefore it really depends upon the dog staying at the person's pace.
The person stays at the dog's pace.
Yes. Absolutely incredible. Oh my Lord, that's amazing. So I know that you came with some stories.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear more about the dogs and how things have gone and the different people that you've gotten letters from who've had the dogs placed with them.
Right. So just a few little, I was just going to share, one of our dogs went to a young girl who was 16. When she got him, she had been blind since birth. And this was her first guide dog. And typically they have to be able to use a cane. And this young girl, she really didn't like using her cane, didn't like to go out and about. Anyway, she said, just go back here. So I was matched with my sweet boy, my best friend, my blonde eyeballs, from Washington, D.C. to Mexico, from high school to college, From giving tours to sitting for exams, we've done more than we've ever could have imagined. Through it all, I've had this silly, loyal, stubborn, hard-working boy by my side. I am forever grateful. Thank you, Guiding Eyes, for giving me my best friend. And she's always so funny because she's like, he's stubborn just like me. And when we were raising him, he was definitely stubborn. He was definitely a challenge, but they've been a match for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Alice, there's hope for you.
Yeah, and you don't know when you get your puppy, you're like, how is this dog ever going to lead somebody who can't see? And it's amazing what they do once they get there, and the dog matures. And some of the personality traits that make us a little crazy sometimes are exactly what they need to be a guide dog.
Oh, how
You know, they
gorgeous.
need that boldness. They need to be confident. And then. So this was a thank you letter from one of the girls. So 2 of our dogs went to 16-year-old girls, which I thought was very interesting. She said, you took care of my V-Man before I had the chance to. You made sure that he was cared for, that he was safe, and that he was loved. You and your family taught him with patience and kindness, and I'll be forever thankful for you, that you were part of his Vigo's family before he came into my life. Thank you for caring for my little guy before I could, and thank you for continuing to love countless other pups so that others like me are given such a beautiful gift.
Oh, wow.
Made me cry.
And then this mom wrote this one. I never thought I could love an animal. He is not just a dog, a pet, or even a member of our family. He is so much more. He is our daughter's companion, friend, partner, protector, and her eyes. He literally watches over one of my most precious things in my life, my daughter. He is truly a blessing from God, and thank the Lord every day for him. So I thought those were like really sweet. Like so many people say, how do you give up this dog? And it's like, that's how you give up. You're really giving a gift to somebody. And I think about these young girls and, older adults that, either lost their vision or maybe 10 years ago. I can't imagine suddenly being blind and not being able to go for a walk or go to the grocery store, or go to work by yourself or with a cane. That this dog really allows them to do that. And our last dog, Gabriel, which is matched with a man in Buffalo, and so he had said, it allows me to get out and walk my neighborhood, and go to work on this huge, he works at the University of Buffalo, so he's at a huge campus, and being able to maneuver around, the campus by yourself with your dog.
Yeah. And you'll be getting some of those letters as well.
Planning on it. I keep every day we walk, I say, you are going to be a great guide dog. I keep thinking the power of positive thinking.
So tell me, having a new person in your house
Yes.
must have changed things a lot. How does it feel?
It adds a lot of life and excitement. And I have a busy house. My daughter lives in town with 2 grandchildren, so the door is constantly open, and James, who is 3, comes barreling in. So I feel like it's all good for her. It might be a little more challenging for me sometimes. So in the house, especially if other people are in the house, she's on a leash. If we're kind of in a confined area, she's free. Like if we're just in the kitchen, I do have a gate. If I'm cooking, she is, she's just with me. But if I go to the basement to do laundry, she's on a leash, because there's just a lot of things to see. And then, like yesterday, I had a little birthday gathering for my daughter, and 3 or 4 women were coming. So she went in the kennel because I couldn't manage little kids with cupcakes and serving people coffee and a puppy. And so, she also needs to understand that there are times that it's not about her. So she did bark for, I don't know, maybe a minute. And I just, went in once and said, good kennel, good girl. And she settled for the whole event.
Right.
Part of me thought, oh, this is a great experience. She should be out with the people, but it was too much. There were too many crumbs and just too much going on.
Did the right thing.
So,
Tammy.
yeah, and I also had to do the right thing for me. So there are times where mentally you do need that break.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning. I'm texting Sue and Tara and Kate constantly every day. Or I called Sue's daughter and she answered and I said, "Puppy hotline, I have a question." I don't know what to do. So I love the support. I think I said that before. We do have a pet of our own. He's 7. And I remember just trying to train him, and I'd look up something on the internet, and I had 2 books from the library, and it was just conflicting messages, and I didn't know what to do. And
Right.
with Hollis, it's like, okay, this is what she's doing. What do I do? And I get a clear answer, and I know this is what they want me to do. So I'm finding it great. And the sitting thing is wonderful. My son, Charlie, has procedures in Boston in June, and I don't have to worry about what to do with the dog. I know somebody will take my puppy so that I can focus on my son's health.
Yeah,
So
that's fantastic, because I was just going to, bring that up.
Okay, good.
Because you mentioned the fact that you need a break sometimes.
yeah.
And this whole business of puppy sitters is really, really important.
It is, and right now we are drastically low on our puppy sitters. So if you don't have the time to commit 15 to 20 months of raising a puppy of your own, you can be a sitter for us, and that you get the same training and the same guidance, but being a sitter is you have the puppy part-time, whether a raiser needs to go on like a day, a couple outings for an hour, or a weekend or a week. Our raisers contact our sitters, and the sitters can say, "Yep, I'm free, I'll take your puppy." And they're so valuable to our raising community, and we're definitely looking for more support from them.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I like the idea of the training, because, I put myself in the place of being a sitter, and I would think,
Yeah, and it's good for the dogs too.
now what do I do?
To generalize their skills to another home environment. A sitter might have a cat, whereas a raiser may not have a cat, so it's another learning experience for the puppies too.
There you go. That's absolutely incredible. But I do hope that you hear a lot more. And I'm sure if people that are watching are interested in the whole idea of being a sitter, just short-term commitment, you must contact, and I'm sure there's information that will be
On our website,
Oh, yes.
www.guidingeyes.org, and if you click on the volunteer tab, you'll see some information about our sitters.
be fantastic. That'd be so much better, because it's wonderful for you to know as well
Yeah.
that the dog is going to someone who's trained,
Yeah.
because all the work you put in.
I did
you
think
don't
of that
want it
the
on
other day. I was like, I don't know if I want her to go anywhere. Like, what if she regresses?
So it's going to a trained person, so all the work you put in and all the work that you put in, poor tired Hercules, won't be wasted. That is amazing. Oh gosh, and it's just so incredible. I hope all of you have seen the difference in these dogs just in a few weeks. What was it? Just 4 weeks?
4 weeks ago,
4 weeks
yeah.
ago.
4 weeks. It's incredible.
Yeah, they've grown a
Grow
lot.
fast.
Yes, and so hopefully this is going to happen again, so you can continue to see the progress that these dogs are making, and the fact that you're still alive, you're still you're focusing well.
Oh, we're loving it. We really are. Yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of joy to see them actually, perfect a skill.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is great. Look, you can do this now.
Look what I've done. I've been able to help this dog. And this
That's all
dog
we're
is
constantly
catching
doing.
on. Oh, it's wonderful. So, are there other things that you need to be able to say at the moment that I haven't thought about?
I don't think so. Just the need for sitters is really huge, and
Yeah.
that's the message
sitters.
I'd like to get
sitters
across.
and puppy raisers.
Yeah, puppy
And it's
raisers.
kind
Yeah.
of, I was a sitter. I didn't do a lot of it, but I did have some exposure. I had nettles a few years ago, and if you think, oh, I can't raise right now, but maybe in 2 years, it's a great way to kind of just start and be
Yeah.
exposed. I think it would have been a lot harder for me if I just started. Sorry, she's chewing the leg.
See, you can work on house manners everywhere.
Everywhere. Constant
But
work in
the other
progress.
thing that I wanted to say again was this message from the beginning, that there are puppies out there that are not getting a chance to be trained.
Yeah.
And there are people who are blind or partially sighted who are waiting for puppies.
Yeah.
And the missing link is the puppy
These are
raisers.
raisers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a missing link between these wonderful creatures and the people who need them as their best friend.
That's right.
So there we are.
So she sometimes sleeps. She's not always like this.
She's a ham for the camera.
Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Well, listen, I wanted to say thank you again for bringing the dogs in, because it's been a joy. And my dog is outside wishing that she was part of this as well, but I don't think that would be quite the right approach. Anyway, and I hope all of you have enjoyed seeing the dogs again, and make sure that you keep aware that they'll be coming back and showing us how much more they've learned and how much bigger they've gotten. Especially Hercules, who's going to grow into his name.
Yes. I don't know if I want him to, but
And Hollis, who is going to be so full of life. Yes, she says quietly. Anyway, and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we look forward to all of you joining us again for the next installment of the Puppy Raisers. And anyway, thank you very much. And please think about all the messages you've heard today. We appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
bye.